So obviously you're not yet a member. So how did you hear about this? Was it LinkedIn?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So the Office Management Portal is a platform that I created, and it's about 18, 20 months old, something like that. So it's still quite new. And essentially I set it up because there were what I saw a real lack of support in office management and facilities management roles, as well as PA and EA roles, although there's a bit more support out there for those roles, and resources as well. So I've been in office management for about 15 odd years, and saw this myself. So when I set up my own consultancy business, I recognised that there was, really was a lack of support. So as I say, there are numerous PA and EA sites and lots of networking opportunities, and there's loads and loads of press and exhibitions and things like that, but nothing specific for the office manager role, which can take many different titles like facilities manager, operations manager, office administrator, all these kind of things. But anybody that really runs any part of their office, including if you are a PA or an EA and you run part of your office, as simple as ordering stationery, there isn't really any support for you in that part of the role. There's things like how to organise yourself and how to manage diaries and all this stuff, but nothing about the office side. So a lot of contacts and colleagues who I used to work with were asking me for help, and they were saying, remember when you worked at RBS and you did that template for me, or remember that cleaning company you brought in, who were they, or can you recommend some stationery companies? So I had loads of people for some time after I set up my consultancy business asking me for help, and they wanted it kind of for free, but they also wanted my templates, and obviously that's time for me. So I thought of setting up this portal, and basically creating it so that my clients and my old colleagues and other contacts could access my brain of information in terms of contacts and advice and templates and things as well, and it became a bit bigger. So it's now open to all. It's a free resource, and it's there to support all types of office management roles. And so the first step I took was to conduct a survey to assess the need in the market for this before I built it. And ultimately, it showed that 88% of office managers across the country wanted something like this to support them in their roles. So we built it. So we created this virtual and physical network for office managers, which is what we refer to it as, because there is a physical element in our networking events as well. Are you based in London?
Well,
Where, sorry?
Essex.
Essex. Oh, okay, same as me.
All right.
Whereabouts are you?
At Stanford-le-Hope.
Oh, okay, I'm in Southend.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's where I live.
I live
not
in
too far.
No.
On the sea to sea.
That's it,
yeah. So it's got tips and advice in it, which is useful expert advice on various different topics. It's kind of random stuff, but also really useful, and I'll show you some of those tips shortly. And templates for things like office moves, relocations, health and safety policies, joiner and leaver tracking, benchmarking exercises, and much, much more. And again, I'll show you a number of those shortly. There's an online forum, so you can ask people in similar roles to you for advice or contact, share experiences, all sorts of things like that will help support you even further in your role. So that's the kind of virtual network that we've created, where it's the online element. Then there's a partner directory. So if you ever need, and a lot of the suppliers we have do cover Essex, if you ever need somebody for stationery, for example, or cleaning, all the people that I would personally recommend to my clients and to you if you asked me are in there. And a number of them I've worked with over my career. So some of them I've known for 7 to 10 years, and have worked with them or introduced them to clients, and they're working with my clients and they're happy. If there's ever an instance where, for example, a partner gets continual bad feedback, or sort of 2 or 3 strikes, they're out and they won't be recommended as part of our portal anymore.
Right.
So there's a really easy directory which I'll show you, so you can find people in there to help with your office supplies and services. There's a jargon buster, so you can browser search through relevant acronyms. So again, I'll show you later, but all sorts of things like HVAC, what does that mean and stand for, and all these bits of jargon that we get in our roles. And then there's a training and events calendar. So our own London networking events go in there, which I'll tell you a little bit more about in a sec. And all sorts of other things like training for PAs, training for EAs, events for PAs and EAs that we get wind of, plus health and safety training, anything and everything that we find across our network on the internet, we put in there because we think it's useful for you to have this kind of one-stop shop to go to just our portal and try and get everything you need to help support you. And then, as I mentioned briefly, the networking events. So we hold events for our members of the portal. We do open them up for other office managers as well. And they're in London every quarter roughly. So if you ever want to venture up, it's always on a Thursday night, so it allows for a Friday hangover if you're partial for a glass of wine or two. And yeah, they're always on Thursdays from about 5:30 until about 8:30. And they tend to get about 80 to 100 people come, so you can network with other office managers in person as well. And can I ask, what's your role? So best of all, as I said, the office management portal is now free to be a member. So it used to be chargeable for any membership, but we made a change in September and made it free for everybody. And then in terms of templates, I'll explain how you can purchase those if you want to. There's a couple of different ways if you ever do need those. So it's really easy to join. You just go to this link, theofficemanagementportal.com, and I'll show you the next step. So we'll move over to the portal now and I can show you that. So just, Gina, what was your role, sorry?
An asbestos office manager.
Asbestos office manager.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a job and a half right there.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so is that specifically for asbestos that you look after, or is that because that's the company you work in?
No, it's I work for a large demolition company, but that is my specific office. That's
okay.
Yeah, my forte.
Okay, wow. We found asbestos on a fit out I did last year. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Right, so this is the portal. Actually, I'm just going to log out and I'll come back into it in a sec. So when you go to that website, theofficemanagementportal.com, you can log in obviously if you've already got an account. If not, then you sign up here and then you can select obviously the free account. I would recommend doing that first of all, and then you can have a look. And if you do ever want to upgrade, it's there forever, and you can do so by either paying £25 a month, or you can pay £250 a year on an annual plan. And that allows you access to our webinars. We do like webinar tutorials and then unlimited template downloads as well. The templates are now available on a pay-as-you-go basis, so I'll show you those. They range from about £10 to £25 a template. So if you just wanted a few and you didn't want to commit to an annual membership, then you can just pay as you go for those. But I would recommend starting with the free version and having a look. It takes about a minute and a half to sign up, enter your details and create your account. So I'll show you my test account here. Like that, let's try again. So when you log in, you'll be welcomed for the first time with a little message up here. And if you ever want to, there is a video here or accessible here to show you how to use the portal. So it will just start in the screen. And it goes through similar things to what I'm doing now, but it's there forever. So if you ever think, oh, I just want a refresher on what's in there and how best to use it, then you can play that. When you log in, if you haven't been in, say, for example, you create an account and you don't log in straight away, or anytime you log in, you'll likely have notifications up here, a bit like Facebook and LinkedIn. And you can dismiss them. There'll be a dismissal message up here if you've got quite a few. And if you want to, you can click on it. So if that tip, for example, is of interest to you, you can click on it and it will take you to that specific tip that we've added in the system. So notifications will stay up there. You can come to your account here and make changes at any time. It will show you what account you're on and what you do and don't get, and obviously you can upgrade from here if you wanted to. And then if you edit your details, what we have is a couple of things. So there's wrap-up emails. So every month, at the end of the month, we send a summary of what's happened in the portal. We highlight our partners that we've added or that are key for that month. And we just tell you what updates we've added, like tips and templates and what events are coming up and so on. If you don't want those, you can just hit disabled here, and obviously you can enable it again at any time. And then there's new forum topic emails. So every time someone posts a topic in the forum, you'll get an email to whatever address you've signed up with saying there's a new topic, and it will tell you what the title is, so you know whether you want to log in and have a look at it and interact with it or not. Again, if you don't want those emails and you just want to come into it as and when you choose, just disable that there and hit save. Okay. There's T's and C's and our policies all available here. A help section here with FAQs about some common things that we get asked about. And then obviously you can log out here. It will keep you logged in on the browser you're using unless you log out for, I think it's a day, and then it will automatically log you out.
Okay.
So back to the dashboard. So there's 6 main sections to the portal. So tips and advice is the first one we'll look at. So as I say, it's a little bit random, but also very useful. And there's an awful lot of them now because we've been going for quite a while. So the first ones we added are way down here, but you might want to just browse through. So this is run that reception. So if you're responsible for managing reception or are, part receptionist, this might be useful for you. The key to a successful office move, if you've got one, these are my top tips on doing an office move. What else have we got? Some of these are a little bit older, but fire safety guidance. So these were updates that were released and I put in here. And then again, the most recent ones we've added sit at the top in here, and you'll get notifications. So for example, the HSE has just redesigned, so some of them are really short tips, but the HSE has recently redesigned its advice on DSEs to make it simpler for businesses to understand. So there's links then that take you to that news article or that legislation or whatever it might be, so you can then go through and grab that information. So we update on health and safety, on, as I say, random tips about the office, HR when we know about HR things, compliance. So we've done a lot from the ICO about GDPR recently. And then, as I say, anything and everything that we think is useful, like quick hacks for desk comfort. So we share things like this that we think are useful, so posters and infographics that you might want to put around your office, and so on and so forth. And you can search these. So if, for example, you're looking for something to move, anything that's got that keyword in it will come up here. There's one about toilets and toilet numbers. So let's see, how many toilets do you need for your staff? So this is one of the best tables I've ever seen in terms of the ratios for a number of employees, male and female, versus the number of toilets and wash basins or urinals that you need. So yeah, it's random, but it's useful because that's kind of what our roles are in office management. Any questions on that?
No, I don't think so. It's pretty clear. It's set out quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's meant to feel, I mean, it was designed for me, but I gave them kind of a brief and the colours and things that I wanted. And I wanted it to really feel like a portal rather than a website, and quite user-friendly. And there's some bits that are a little bit, we did a survey recently where people gave us feedback, and one of the members said that it feels a little bit outdated in the forum, which I can understand, and you'll see it in a second, but I wanted it to feel like you're in a portal rather than every other website out there at the moment. So yeah, but we're doing changes still every few months. So next is the service and supply directory. So these are the partners that I was talking about, and these guys come to our events as well. There's very few of them that tend to be. There's maybe 10 to 20 out of 100 people at our events, and the rest of them are PAs and office managers. But the reason they come is so that you guys can network with them as well, and obviously if you start to use them, then you'll see them at events, to catch up. But it's a really nice informal way of perhaps meeting somebody that, I don't know, in 2 years' time you might want to approach about your printers and photocopier contract expiring, and rather than it being, you know, through sales calls or you having to search for somebody, you've met someone in quite an informal environment, and then you can go from there. So there's categories here, so I can click to see all of the categories that we've got. So you can click on it, for example, massage and wellbeing. These guys often do free massages at our events, which is always very nice. And then you can click on their website and have a look at their services there, or you can contact them through the portal and the contact button and say, we're looking for massage in our office, blah, 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 and they'll get your details that you've shared within your account, like your phone number and email address, and they'll get in touch with you from there. You can also search, so if I search for cleaning, for example, in London, then these are the cleaning companies we recommend. Some of them are specific to like window cleaning or cleaning products, but they've all got that keyword, and again, some of them have got brochures that you can have a look at. Oh, let's see, that one's failing for some reason. Let's try this one. So yeah, they've got brochures you can have a look at there as well if you wanted to. Or you can click show all partners, and you can just browse through and have a look at all the partners that we've got in here that do various different things. So that's the directory. The forum is, as I say, the virtual network that we've got. So again, it's in order of most recently communicated on. So this one's got the most recent contact on it and was raised yesterday. Now, whenever you raise a new topic, which you can do by clicking the button here, or you interact with one or you see one, if you tick this box here, it will let you know by email every time there's an update on that topic. So say, for example, this one, you think, oh yeah, I want to know about that as well. You can tick that, so every time someone replies, you get told about it, and you can come back in to have a look at it, whether you've interacted with it or not. And then obviously when you've had enough, you can take it out. You can report it, you can like them, you can report specific lines if you think they're inappropriate, or you can reply here and send a message, and off that will go and everybody will see it. When you send replies, obviously not everybody will get an email saying it unless they've specifically asked you. Again, you can search through them or browse, so there's quite a lot that have been raised. We've got almost 600 members now, so it's a really, really nice community that's been built. I remember first of all when it was just me, and then there was a couple of other people in here. This was by Nick that left office management, actually has gone into a completely different role now, but I went in and showed him the portal, and yeah, I kept raising topics like, hi everybody, anybody. And we had, you know, you can see it, we had a few people raising topics, but it was quite slow. So yeah, it's nice to have other people raising them and interacting. So yeah, so again, you can search, let's have a look at one, travel, for example. So there's a few in here where people have talked about travel. So yeah, so that is the forum. Then the template, so this is the element that's not free, but as a standard member, so on the free membership, you can still come into this section and you can still have a look at them. So if you think, oh, okay, I'll see, you know, what's in here, you can have a look. It will ask you to upgrade. That doesn't work for some reason. There should be a PayPal button there. That's weird. Oh, there we go. It's obviously just loading. But yeah, so with all of these templates, and I will show you some, I'll log out and log into my account in a second, but you can click on them, and let's say, for example, you want an office relocation budget template. In fact, I'm going to just buy it through my PayPal. So you can click PayPal, log in, and either pay with your PayPal account or a one-off purchase with a credit or debit card. It shows you the amount just here in the corner and what it is. Oh, it won't let me log in because I'm the seller. Let's try again. In fact, I won't buy it. I'll log into my my other account and I'll show you them that way. And then we've got a lot of them in Google. So where they are Excel templates or whatever it might be, it should show here the icon of what it is. So it should actually be an Excel icon there, for example. So I'm not sure what's happened there, but we do Google Sheets. So if you use Google Sheets, you got the conversions on there, and you can just click the link to get hold of those. So yeah, there's plenty in here, and again, you can search through the categories. So let's say, for example, budget. You can see all the different budget templates that are in there, or I don't know, let's see DSE, because we've got lots of DSE different templates in there, health and safety policies and so on. The events and training calendar, so this is, as I say, where we basically put all of the things that we think are useful. So our Webemo is in here for today. We've got a webinar next week where we're going through our health and safety gap analysis template with any members that want to go through it. Again, they're paid for, so you need to either pay individually, which is £15 as a one-off, or be on the enhanced membership to access those. But everything else, for example, these today's PA courses we've put in here, some of them are free events, some of them are paid for, but we just share everything that we think is useful. Obviously, some are health and safety. Yeah, some of them are PA life, and lots and lots of things. There's, I think, a Christmas preview some point, and then our own event in here in October if you do want to attend. It's just in Victoria. So a little bit further than Stanford Hope, but not too far. Okay. Oh, and actually with the events, if you ever want an event added to the calendar, say your company's running one that you want office managers to attend, or you know about one that you think is useful to share, you can just click there, give us the information, and we'll pop it on. And then finally, the jargon buster. So this is the kind of Google for office managers. So all sorts of acronyms that are typical in office management and other things. So let's see, HVAC comes up there, anything with that written in it, or you can just browse through. So a lot of people find this useful, just going through and learning things that they didn't know. And again, that gets added to regularly. And then a contact us section, so anytime you can drop us a note or call with any queries that you might have. I'm on maternity leave at the moment because I've just had a little baby boy, but we will come back still quite quickly if there are any issues. Any questions so far, Gina?
No, it looks like it's a nice thing to use. It's easy. It's pretty. Yeah, it's just it's simple. It's easy.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's what we aimed for. So that's good to hear. So I'll just log in as me quick and show you the templates. So you can have a look at those. Is there anything in particular you want to have a look at in terms of templates, or do you want me to select a few?
No, just select a few.
Okay, cool. So let's go with this budget template that we were trying to access. So when you have paid for it, or if you're an enhanced, you just get that little screen saying, make sure you agree to the terms and conditions and download it. And then you can obviously save that down and edit it to suit you guys. So this is the Google template, Google Sheets template link. So that appears at the start of any Excel document. And then this is the template. So you'll see, like here, there's a lot of comments that I've put in to give you hints and tips, or sort of coach through using the template. But this is a really simple office relocation budget sheet. So at the start of knowing that you're going to do an office move, you may want to come in here and go through and give an estimated cost for each of these things. And then obviously whenever you get the actual costs and you've spent it, then it becomes an actual sheet of spend that you can track. And our COOs often, or CFOs rather, often love these, as they would do with money and everything to do with finance. So this is one-off costs that you might find, you know, buying furniture, the relocation, the legal fees, the stamp duty, which a lot of people don't realise you have to pay for when you're entering a new lease. So that's why the link's there. Water machines if you buy them, and all sorts of stuff like that. And then these are the ongoing costs, so your rent, service charge rates, you know, contracts for cleaning and all sorts of other stuff, waste, confidential waste, printers, and so on and so forth. So you can really make it a proper budget for you and your new office, and what that starts to look like per annum. You can then obviously compare it to your current cost per annum if you want to, so you can show the increase or decrease if that's applicable. So that's one template. Let's have a look and see. So we've got move labels in there. There's a project plan as well. So this is a simple version of an office move project plan. So again, it's kind of a point, as we say with these templates. It's a one-off list of everything you may need to consider when doing an office move, from telling the cleaners about it and cancelling the contract if you're leaving the office, or if you're doing an internal shuffle, then letting them know that they might not need to clean certain areas that night and to come back another day. Updating the FCA if you're registered with them, company's house, and so on, if you're obviously moving offices altogether. And you can go through and say, yeah, that's relevant or not relevant, and put priorities and names and so on against them. So that's a really simple list. There's a more complex one in there that tracks how your progress is going on the project and splits out different areas of it as well. Let's have a look at procurement. So let's say you're tendering your mobile phone contract. This might be useful. So again, it's a starting template to use, where you can easily drop in your current costs, and then when you get new costs through, you can put those in. So your current data could go in here for the number of handsets you've got and telephone numbers and tariffs, and then you can copy this out and send it to your new suppliers, for example, that you're tendering with, and then your proposal options. So what your current contract is, e.g. Vodafone, how many you've got, what it costs per month, and the totals and the different tariffs here. Anything you may get with it that you might not be able to put into monetary terms or quantities there. Termination fees, if they're applicable, because you're looking at terminating before the end of your contract, and what that costs. And then you can compare it here to however many you want. Obviously, if you want to do more, you can copy and paste these. And then any comments you've got. So I often put in here, you know, what contractor it's with, and any sort of clauses and things that I need to be aware of. Your recent bill data could be in here, so you can paste your bill into there. So everything's in place, and then a summary once all that's filled in, of a really easy to look at sheet to show what each of those might work out at, and what the saving is, or obviously the increase is, to your current contract. And that means that you can then copy that and pop it into a PowerPoint or an email or whatever it might be to, again, your COO, CFO, whoever manages you and might need to sign this off, or you know, ratify that they're happy for you to move, and show them the difference with ease. So there's a lot of content, a lot of templates like that for tendering and contracts. So insurance, stationery, M&E, coffee machines, and all sorts of things, and that grows again. So we add to templates quite regularly. Health and safety, I'll show you the gap analysis, because that's probably the last one to show that's quite useful. So when we do the webinar next week, we'll be going through this template. So we recommend that our members obviously purchase it if they haven't got it already on their enhanced membership, and go through it with us live on the webinar. So this is essentially an audit for your health and safety in your office or your workplace. So we'll go through it, and any concerns or anything you can put in here. And then if you have got the health and safety notice board in place, it will go green. It's like a RAG status. If it's in progress, then it's yellow. And it will basically at the end show you how you're doing and what you might need to do. So you can then put need to speak him about ordering this, or whatever it might be. And yeah, you've got a to-do list. Then there's quite a bit on here, because obviously there's quite a bit to do with health and safety. It shows you what's a legal requirement and what's not. Some of that's not quite as clear cut as yes and no, so we've erred on the side of caution and put yes for the ones that are a little bit ambiguous. And then yeah, if anything ever happens in your office, for example, the HSE decide to knock on your door because you've had an accident that you've had to report under RIDDOR, you may find that they are more forgiving if you haven't got certain things in place, but you've got something like this, because you know what you need to do, you just haven't done it yet.
Right.
So yeah, it would be better than saying, oh, I didn't know we had to do that. For sure. So yeah, so that's, sorry, dog in the background. So that's our main sort of key templates. There are, as I say, there's loads in here, like contracts and legal, business continuity, which again, they all grow sort of week to week. Employment and HR, we've got quite a few in there. And then we also have our webinars. So each of the ones we do, we record them, and then again, either paid for on a pay-as-you-go or under the enhanced membership, you can download them. And within the document itself is the link to the webinar, so you can download that and then go to the slides at the same time as us. So you get access to them whether you want to do it live with us whenever we run them, or at any time you want to.
Okay.
Any questions at all, Gina?
No, I don't think so.
No? Fab. Do you think you'll sign up?
I think I will. I'd like to go in, yeah, definitely go in and have a look around.
Yeah,
Definitely.
do. Super. And hopefully we might see you at an event if you feel like venturing into London in the future, depending on how your workload is, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, if they let me out the office.
Yeah, exactly. that's a big if. All right, well, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll see you on the portal soon.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm definitely going to go in and have a look around. But thanks.
Thanks, Gina. Pleasure. Take care.
Bye.
Bye now.